Day 411 of every day. Burpees. Still no days off.
You might be surprised to hear that Khabib actually suffered defeat early on his fighting journey.
One.
Most people give up after failure. Others just start trying harder.
3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10.
This video is sponsored by Apple. So please consider supporting my work on Patreon by clicking the link in the description. I reinvest everything back into the videos and I'll put your name in the credits in return. A big thank you to my current patrons for making this video happen. And let's keep on making more. Back to the story.
В сентябре ты рассказал нам, что собираешься подписать контракт с UFC, и это действительно произошло.
At that time, it was almost impossible sign from Russia, you know. When they signed me, it was 11 years, no fighters from Russia in UFC. Not many people believe us. When I see how father believe me, how really want this is give me like crazy energy.
Давай, Khabib, давай! Шалорус тоже не стоит, давай! Сейчас мы ждем визу. Сказали где-то числа 25, как только будет готово.
Visa issues play a big role when it comes to Khabib's story. There's always been a bit of friction associated with getting a visa applications from Russia to the US and vice versa. For that reason, Abdulmanap isn't able to follow his son to the US. That means he has to see his career progress sitting at home.
Here we go, Khabib is on the move.
Broadway. Код? Полицейский.
Eleven.
Он тебе песню поет. А?
12.
UFC. А? Ну, как тебе? UFC?
Вот так, ребята.
14.
UFC.
15. 16. 17. 18.
People like everybody look at like okay, it's like he's only 23 years old.
19.
We don't think that he's UFC level, and I think no, I'm gonna show these guys.
20
I'm
reps.
gonna show these guys how I can become best in the world, you know?
I remember when he first came to AK, he barely spoke English, and he would tell me, DC, one day I'm going to be undisputed champion, and we would say, oh, you're out of your mind. And he always watched and observed, and as he gained more confidence in his abilities and also his ability to communicate, it just kept growing and growing and growing.
Khabib is one of the scariest too.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's beating you down. He's not only beating you down, he's breaking you mentally. And
He's gonna maul you.
exactly.
Yeah. But Khabib's wrestling is not just a level above everybody else, but multiple levels.
Yeah,
Khabib doesn't lose a round. He just smashes everybody.
That's insane.
Khabib is only one fight away from getting a title shot. He's supposed to fight Tony Ferguson, but gets injured right before the fight. That's when things start turning sour.
For 2 years, he's kept getting injured. Knee surgeries, rib surgeries, back surgeries.
Hand surgery, broke ribs.
У Хабиба, мне кажется, 8 переломов и 4 операции.
Тебе?
Травмами, операции
Как си
спины,
грухи?
скажем,
Елате, покажа едно упражнение за Борис.
крестообразные святки, перелом ребер, перелом кистей, открытый
Ти
перелом.
няма да се виж, че
He's
отстраниш
out of the
на сам.
competition for 2 years.
It was very hard time for me, you know. I was like because I cannot compete, and all guys who
Тука
I
се хваща.
beat, they beat someone,
Лекна един
and
крак.
Rafael dos Anjos become lightweight champion. And I was thinking,
Ама,
okay, 1 year.
трябва да
ago,
му кажеш
I
да
know
използва
Rafael dos
краката си
Anjos.
главно. Jedan
And
trpa
I'm here
sraceti.
without belt, and all these chickens, they fight for my title.
And very much at one point he said, I think, I'm gonna finish, Именно это время он хотел уже закончить.
Hello,
Говорил, что может Всевышний
Julio Gamboa.
пора тебе заканчивать. His father was such a great influence in his life. He was the motivation in his life. He's the one always pushing.
I'm gonna smash when I go home because
what you're completely encouraged.
oh, he's very strong. Every day we're wrestling with him, grappling with him, he's very strong. You guys have to try wrestling with him, he will this.
So the father should be an encouraging force, but can be a tyrannical and crushing force. That's a very difficult thing to get right. The father who devours his son because he's jealous
21.
of the new possibility, the new potential, the struggle for
22.
attention and love from the mother or from the other children in the family. There's all sorts of things that can go
23.
terribly wrong. If you're my son, then I should impose the highest
24.
standards of behavior on you, and I should always be judging what you're doing
25.
with the aim of making the best in you come forward. Get
26.
your bloody act together, because I want the best in you to emerge. And so
27.
you need standards. It's like, what are you doing wasting
Hey!
your life? There's way more than that
28.
to
My wife is here also.
Намного легче. Чувствуется эта энергетика.
29.
Чувствовалось, что, не знаю, вот такая вот была такая некая
Because the purpose
30
of
reps.
the father psychologically is to fortify the courage of
My wife is
his
number one.
children. Life is hard. It's going to come at you in all sorts of ways. You can accept that as a challenge. You can thrive. You can master it. You can handle it, kid. And I'm behind you. Like I'm behind the best in you manifesting itself in the world. And that gives a kid a spine, metaphysically and physically.
I have father here. My father. I want to say thank you for my father.
Hop.
Салам алейкум ва рахматуллах. Хотел бы сделать обращение к землякам-дагестанцам в связи с последними событиями, с этим вирусом, с этой болезнью. У нас очень тяжелое положение в Дагестане, очень плачевное. Больницы переполнены, много людей заболело, очень много людей умерло. И на самом деле нам сейчас как никогда нужно объединиться. Отец сейчас в данный момент находится в больнице, у него состояние очень тяжелое, у него на фоне этого вируса, так что у него такое тяжелое положение, очень тяжелое. Просим Аллаха, чтобы Аллах вернул его к нам тоже. Пусть Аллах поможет нам всем.
When we realized that it was COVID and it was bad, I was so worried as to what could possibly happen because you know how big a part of his life his father was.
Every man has another man that he can turn to. And that's generally your father. And when you have somebody that is such a powerful figure in your life, like Khabib's dad was, but then it even superseded over Khabib. One day you wake up, you make that phone call, nobody's going to answer. And you got to figure that out on your own.
A question resonates around the world. Will Khabib step foot in the octagon ever again, now that his father has passed?
Как вы переживаете потерю и мешает ли вам сейчас это сосредоточиться на тренировках перед боем?
Это, конечно, не мешает.
Is that an extra motivation? Is this, I'm going to go out and do this for you, Dad? Or just, hey, everybody, I got to put this on hold. My head's not right. I got a number of things that aren't right.
We all know how much he loved his dad and how close they were. His dad was a hard man. His dad, raised him to be a man's man.
Не знаю, возможно, вот это чувство меня выводит на другой уровень, я стану еще сильнее. Любые испытания, они вас могут или сломать, или сделать сильнее, а это мы посмотрим, увидим, что вообще получится из этого.
40 reps. Hello, love. Nov Rashik.
Как вы видите свою старость?
Ну, и с внуками на берегу, или возле моих предков, значит, рассказывая то, что я в жизни считал главным, нужным, полезным, значит, передать внукам. Вот я считаю такую старость. А она может завтра же прекратиться вообще. Нам неизвестно, сколько человек проживет. Мы должны быть готовы сегодня, завтра, чтобы нас понесли, хоронить.
Sometimes I miss my young age. Same city, same friends, same place, nothing changed. Only one thing changed. It was not only my dream. Yeah. It was my father's dream too. You know, we're doing this all life together, and that time it was like without father. Most emotional moment for me in my life, you know, it's like because that time my dream became true, but without my father.
Поэтому...
To finish what my father beginning.
And it turns out that Islam wouldn't be doing it alone.
I'm like, okay, I have to take this leadership, and I have to lead this team, and I have to keep continuing my father's legacy.
Hey.
Help me polish like his
41.
When I need help, he help me. Now is my turn.
Will you be in his corner the whole
42.
time? You can see through his career?
Of course, I'm gonna be
43.
here. I have to finish what my father beginning.
Always in the cage, I help
44.
Khabib because give me
45.
advice always.
Who runs a tougher practice, Abdulmanap or Khabib?
46.
Let's go, guys! I think Khabib push
What's
us like crazy.
I'm older brother.
48.
I have to push them. You have to sacrifice your life to become champion.
49.
You need to be fighting for titles soon.
I just need a
50
couple
reps.
more fights and that's it. И он мне показал дорогу в жизни, уже протоптал для нас дорогу. After all this, my mind was changed, you know, and I know I'm deserved, and I know I have all the skills for the champion belt.
How do you think Abdulmanap knew that?
Вы что, не видите в исламе потенциала? Ну, я вижу. В исламе есть некоторые вещи даже лучше, чем в Кhabib. Поэтому ислам моложе.
Live from Etihad Arena here in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. This is UFC 280. Oliveira versus Makhachev.
Almost exactly 2 years after Khabib retired, Islam finally gets the opportunity to fulfill father's plan.
One. Two. Three. 4. 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This my belt for my coach Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. Many years ago, he told me, just training hard and you gonna be champion. I wanna give this belt. Him and his father make me, I know.
Most of the time, when people become the UFC World Champion, they walk over here with their belt and they're cheering and they're yelling. You came over calm as a cucumber, no belt in sight.
This guy is more deserved than me because all my years this guy support me, help me, and I did everything for these guys. Make them happy.
This is one of the best nights, like sports, like, you know. in our family team, like this is one of the best nights.
What is going to happen with Islam Makhachev's career? When he is done, what are we going to say about this guy?
When he's done?
When he is done, what are we going to say about Islam Makhachev?
New goal, new target for me. I'm gonna be pound for pound #1.
Our plan, fly all the way to Australia and fight pound for pound king right now, Alexander Volkanovski.
And very soon you're not just gonna call me UFC champion, you're gonna say Islam Makhachev, best pound for pound fighter in the world.
I will preface this for anyone who's gonna clip this off and call me a hater. He isn't as good as Khabib. He is not. At this stage, 26 fights in, Khabib was more refined, dominant, better.
Maybe there's still a couple questions I need answered. One is, all right, what are you going to look like when things don't go your way, if you lose a round?
This could maybe be a very short-lived title reign if he doesn't get past this first defense.
Could he become the greatest? Could he surpass?
To me, I don't think so.
How important is this next fight or next couple of fights to help you step out of that shadow of Khabib?
59.
I don't think about this.
But Islam isn't the only one feeling the
60
pressure.
reps.
This life, like coaching life, I didn't know it's gonna be so hard like this. Because when I was fighting, it was more easy for me. I was controlling everything what's happening, but this, I just can only talk. I cannot do nothing. That's why it's like a little bit headache for me.
What was your biggest takeaway from Khabib the coach now?
That he doesn't want to do it.
2022, he says, like just 2 months he stay in the home with family, but all other time he travel a lot.
He's at a point in his life where he doesn't want to miss the important moments. And Khabib is a family guy that is not willing to give that away anymore.
Khabib steps away from coaching.
Is it going to be difficult to move on as champion without him?
That's what we will see.
Khabib is your friend, your brother, and I'm sure you'd rather have him here than not. Can you see the positive in him, not being as close to you during fight weeks now?
You know what Khabib say? When we see the whole team, he say, you have to make your legacy.
Самый сложный бой для тебя в качестве секунданта? Да, я думаю, это самый сложный бой. Потому что для меня это было эмоционально сложно. Потому что тяжелый бой, и я, очень сильно переживал.
Islam Makhachev on Saturday night won the contest. Alex Volkanovski won the fight.
I thought, BB, son. I thought he did.
If there was a 6th round,
Hello YouTube.
I think Volkanovski finishes his fight. It's kind of like,
How are you guys?
Who's winning in the
This is my life workout before I go to work as a waiter.
This fight not close, bro. It's unanimous decision.
Khabib was never put in a position like this in the 5th round getting beat up. He's not the same guy.
And do you feel like that this fight has helped you separate yourself from Khabib and to be on your own path?
Islam, many people believe, lost to the guy who's a weight class below him.
And a lot of rankings still have Alexander Volkanovski as the pound for pound #1.
Alexander Volkanovski, in my eyes, is still
Hop.
for pound.
When you have a fight like that, when you have something as big as this,
61.
if you have controversy, you have a rematch.
I think it's something that we
6'2".
need to see run back. That's how the rematch, because it needs to happen.
6'3".
A rematch does get announced between Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira.
6'4".
But 12 days before that fight, Oliveira gets injured in training.
65.
Charles Oliveira out of his fight with Islam, and it's Alex Volkanovski in.
Yes.
66.
The rematch we were talking about right after it happened, but we didn't think it would
67.
happen this soon. Volkanovski and Islam Makhachev 2.
68.
I know I have to close the all questions because too many people
69.
talking about the third side.
This fight, everything is gonna change.
70.
I want to finish him and finish all this talk about this fight.
The vibes this week just feel like it's an Alexander Volkanovski week.
it feels like it's written in the stars that Alexander Volkanovski is going to come in on less than 2 weeks' notice and do the unthinkable and upset the dominant champion in Islam Makhachev.
End of the day, it's fought 1-1. You go alone inside the cage, and we will see who's the best in the world.
Islam knocks out Volkanovski in the first round, but it still proves nothing.
I think it's pretty fair to say that
this was not the best Volkanovski.
He just beat a guy coming off the couch on 12 days' notice.
Folks, the math on this is pretty clear, right? 64% of the time, the guys filling in on short notice, they don't win.
Is he starting to maybe come out of the shadow of Khabib Nurmagomedov?
No, I don't think I'm ever going to take Khabib off of my Mount Rushmore fight.
Look, he's fantastic, but he does have a loss. Khabib never had a loss.
So what's next for Islam Makhachev, though?
If he does leave his weight class and goes and gets a second title, then you're going to say he's more successful.
My dream, my goal, I want to second belt.
I don't see that happening anytime soon. He's still got some guys to fight. But listen, if he held the belt for defends the belt for another year and wanted to move up, why not?
What do you think you added to your legacy tonight?
Legacy? It's not enough. I can do more. I want to be in the history and people know me like double champ. This is my dream, you know.
We'd have to get in and talk about it, look at it, and I don't know.
I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I told them I'm not leave this sport without second belt.
Islam is just
Hop.
been unbelievably dominant in the lightweight division.
So it
and
worked.
he deserves a challenge to move up.
It's only
So
after his fourth title defense that the opportunity would come.
So it's 3.
Current lightweight champion Islam
So
Makhachev
4.
is going to move up to the welterweight
So
division
5.
to face Jack Della Maddalena.
So it's 6.
Naturally,
Something is off
So it's 0.
Islam at 170.
Yeah, he is a big dude. But
So
in terms
deep.
of full-on stature, is he big as Jack Della
So
Maddalena?
9.
I am worried that maybe he's carrying around all this extra weight and the cardio might not be
Eight
this will
reps.
hands down be his toughest fight.
Jack Della Maddalena is on another level. He's probably got the best, cleanest boxing in the UFC.
Just straight up, if I told you Islam can't get him down and can't hold him for any meaningful time against the fence, that would make the pick relatively easy.
I'm going to lean with GDM, Jack.
Jack, it's the biggest fight for me in my career. Biggest fight now.
and as everyone talks about Islam finally stepping out of Khabib's shadow, he reminds the world that it was never about that.
It's all about Abdulmanap legacy, you know. Our coach, who's not with us right now. After like 10, 15 years, people gonna understand what he did for our country, for MMA, for sports, you know.
Let me tell you what, you want to talk about one of the greatest coaches in the history of the sport that's never talked about? Khabib Nurmagomedov's dad.
Вложено в его учениках, которые будут на протяжении многих лет растить молодежь на этом наследии.
Hello. Фёдорик. Good morning, man.
Не смогу, но то, что делаю историю для своей малой родины и России, и во всем мире для смешанной одного, считаю, я сполна отдал себя. И мои воспитанники показали это.
81.
Ничего вечного нет.
И его
82.
наследие будет работать долгие
83.
I think he's proud of us, you know.
84. 85. 86. 87.
Дайте шанс. Ислам Махачу.
88. 89.
Hey guys, as you know by now, there's no Islam without Khabib. So if you want to know the other side of
90.
the story, go check out the documentary I made on Khabib right here. It covers the whole McGregor Dolly accident and this whole situation, which I kind of skipped over in this doc. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you there. Take care.
91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 100 burpees.
fourth title defense that the opportunity would come.
Current lightweight champion Islam Makhachev is going to move up to the welterweight division to face Jack Della Maddalena.
So, naturally,
Something is off with Islam at 170.
Yes, he is a big dude. But in terms of full-on stature, is he big as Jack Della Maddalena
50
is?
pull-ups.
I'm worried that maybe he's carrying around all this extra weight and the cardio might not be there.
This will hands down be his toughest fight.
Jack Della Maddalena is on another level. He's probably got the best, cleanest boxing in the UFC.
Just straight up, if I told you Islam can't get him down and can't hold him for any meaningful time against the fence, that would make the pick relatively easy.
I'm gonna leave with GDM, Jack.
Jack, it's the biggest fight for me in my career. It's the biggest fight now.
and as everyone talks about Islam finally stepping out of Khabib's shadow, he reminds the world that it was never about that.
It's all about Abdulmanap legacy, you know. Our coach, not with
50
us right
dips.
now, but after like 10, 15 years, people gonna understand what he did for our country, for MMA, for sports, you know.
Let me tell you what, you want to talk about one of the greatest coaches in the history of the sport that's never talked about? Khabib Nurmagomedov's dad.
Вложено в его учениках, которые будут на протяжении многих лет растить молодежь на этом наследии.
Я знаю, что я смертный, все отхватить денег не смогу, но то, что делаю историю для своей малой родины и России, и во всем мире для смешанного единоборства, я считаю, я сполна отдал себя. И мои воспитанники показали это. Я не буду об этом сожалеть. Ничего вечного нет.
И его наследие будет работать долгие века.
And 50 assisted pull squats.
Кто у вас там любимый боец?
Before this workout, 20 minutes of shadow boxing and rope jumping. Stay strong every day. No excuses. Don't be a bitch.
Махачу перекат.